So this next one is kind of a multi-part problem. At first, they just want you to find the end behavior. So this is kind of similar to the one we did a couple problems ago, where we're looking at each parentheses and we look at the degree on the outside. So we have an x in here, an x in here, and an x in here, but these two are squared. So we're going to have the largest term we're going to get out of this is x, then the largest out of these two is going to be x squared from each. So if we multiply those all together, that gives us x to the fifth. So the degree of this polynomial is 5. And we look at the signs, positive, positive, positive. That means we have positive leading coefficient and degree of 5. So odd degree, we're going to be falling in the left, and we're going to be rising in the right. So falls to the left and rises to the right. That's the one we want. So list each real zero of f according to the behavior of the graph at the x-axis near that zero. So we want to know zeros where the graph crosses the x-axis and where it touches but does not cross. So remember, a zero of multiplicity 2 is going to be a zero where the graph is either kind of hanging off the x-axis or sitting on it, so touching but not crossing. So we have those two zeros of multiplicity 2, -1 and +1. So we'll write a -1 here and a +1 here, and a 0 where it crosses. So those are going to be your zeros of odd degree. So here we just have x minus 2, so 2 is going to be a 0 where we actually cross the x-axis. Find the y-intercept. So remember, the y-intercept, no matter what kind of function you're looking at, the y-intercept can always be found by plugging in 0 for x. So we plug in 0. We have a -2 here, we have 1 squared here, and we have -1 squared here. So what do we do with that? So we have -2 times, now 1 squared is going to give us 1, and -1 squared is also going to give us 1. So it's -2 times 1, or just -2. And then now that they've led us through all that, they want us to make a graph. So they want us to plot all the points where we intersect with the x or the y-axis. And for each point on the x-axis, select the correct behavior. So we're going to start by, so we have our 0 at -1. And let's see, so that's our 0 that's kind of furthest to the left. And because we're going to be falling to the left, we want to click on, remember, it's just going to be touching there, so we want this side kind of falling to the left. So we click on that. Then we have another 0 at 1, and it's going to be falling here, and again, kind of coming up, touching, but then falling back down. So again, we're going to be clicking on that option. Then our 0 that's kind of furthest to the right happens at 2. And we want it to kind of go up through 2 and then keep going up because it's going to be rising to the right. This is our last 0, so we're going to pick that. And then we also have our y-intercept. So our y-intercept happens at -2. We plot that there. We don't have to pick any behavior for that. And then we click on this graph icon. Oh, we click on this icon here to graph, and it kind of draws a little sketch through those points, and that should be our graph. We hit check, and there we go.